Here's your wrestling news for January 6, 2021. And your headlines for today include why Goldberg is challenging Drew McIntyre at WWE Royal Rumble. Goldberg wasn't originally scheduled to close out WWE Raw this week. Reason why Vince McMahon booked Drew McIntyre vs. Goldberg is revealed. Future plans for Goldberg and Drew McIntyre revealed. Why Drew McIntyre was unable to deliver his promo to the WWE Legends. Drew McIntyre reacts to Goldberg's push on Raw. T-Bar asks fans if they want to see Retribution destroy Goldberg. Riddle responds. Why WWE changed plans for Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Bayley sends plea to fans as her little brother goes missing. Amanda Huber releases a statement about WWE. Sting's next appearance is announced. FTR renamed their finisher to honor Brody Lee, and more. We are kicking off today with Raw's Legends Night, which ended with Goldberg challenging WWE Champion Drew McIntyre for a title match at the Royal Rumble, surprising the fans. According to Dave Meltzer, who spoke on Wrestling Observer Radio, this title match was only planned just a few days ago, with the decision being made on Saturday, mere days before Raw went on the air. It's been reported that the company felt nobody else on Raw was ready to challenge McIntyre for the title, as Keith Lee just lost to the Scotsman on Raw, AJ Styles lost at TLC, and Randy Orton is already involved in his own feud with The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Interestingly, Goldberg has always insisted that Universal Champion Roman Reigns is next, but that's clearly not the plan right now. Of course, a Goldberg-Reigns match could still take place at WrestleMania 37, a year after their collision was supposed to take place, but for now, fans can expect Goldberg vs. McIntyre to be made official real soon. The fans weren't the only ones surprised to see Goldberg, as according to reports, the Hall of Famer wasn't meant to close out Raw at all. According to PW Insider, the original plan was for the Randy Orton vs. Jeff Hardy match to close the show, and the decision was made late in the day for Lee McIntyre to go on last. This makes sense, as the WWE title match was a much bigger deal for the show, but PW Insider noted that the decision was made to move it to the end because of the Goldberg angle. WWE didn't make McIntyre vs. Goldberg official on Raw, but we expect that match to take place at January 31st's Royal Rumble, despite the negative reaction from some fans. With such a huge name involved like Goldberg, it's hardly surprising that Vince McMahon himself decided to book the match between him and McIntyre, even if it's not what creative wants. According to a source with WWE who spoke to Sportskeeda, creative isn't keen on Goldberg vs. McIntyre, but McMahon believes this will propel Drew to the stratosphere of superstars. The source added that this will be a one-off which will see Drew retain, and this is a far cry from the Reigns-Goldberg match that the latter has been teasing even as recently as last month on The Bump. At the time, Goldberg said that Reigns is next, but that's clearly not the case anymore. Last year, Goldberg confirmed that his contract allows him a couple of matches a year, and the Hall of Famer, who wasn't advertised for Legends Night, has his sights set on the WWE Championship. The worst-case scenario would be for Goldberg to defeat McIntyre, a genuine concern amongst fans given that it's been nearly a year since he squashed The Fiend for the Universal title, despite everyone thinking it was a foregone conclusion that it'd be Wyatt vs. Reigns for the title at WrestleMania 36. For as good as The Fiend has been, he was never quite the same after that loss, and now McIntyre is arguably WWE's second biggest name behind Roman Reigns, and is coming off the back of some great title matches with AJ Styles and Keith Lee. Now that Goldberg's back and has inserted himself in the title picture, it's possible that he could win the title, even though the argument could be made that this match isn't needed at all. Although Vince McMahon feels the Goldberg match will elevate McIntyre, we can't imagine how much higher the reigning two-time WWE champion can climb after his 2020. And this spot on the Rumble card would have been better served for the long-teased Drew vs. Sheamus encounter. If Drew loses the gold, he could win it back before WrestleMania, though that would only make Goldberg's brief reign feel like Randy Orton's pointless reign from last year, and although having Goldberg win the title makes little to no sense, it's important to remember that fans thought the same thing with The Fiend last year. But do you think Goldberg's return will propel or hinder the WWE champion? Let us know in the comments below. More from Legends Night next, as in the main event, Drew McIntyre defended his WWE Championship against Keith Lee, with all the legends on stage to watch. It was later made clear that these legends were on the stage because McIntyre was supposed to deliver a promo after his match so that Goldberg could come out and set up their match. Fans never heard this promo because the Lee-McIntyre match went long, meaning Goldberg came out as soon as the match ended before Drew could cut his promo. Goldberg wasn't pleased with McIntyre, saying the champion thinks he's better than the Legends, an odd line given that McIntyre didn't insult any of the Legends, meaning Goldberg's promo made very little sense. The show was then cut off prematurely because they ran out of time, and although WWE tried their best to get everything in, the segment didn't work well without Drew's promo. Vince Russo certainly wasn't a fan of the segment and said that this isn't the first time the company has done wrong with the reigning WWE champion, noting, "Here's the problem. How are we supposed to care about Goldberg and Drew McIntyre when you haven't made us care about Drew McIntyre? You've done nothing to make us care about this guy. Now we're gonna care about this match?" On Twitter, McIntyre saw the funny side of Goldberg's return and being pushed by the Hall of Famer, as he said that it's the only kind of push Goldberg will get as part of this latest return. Russo was also critical of WWE's Legends Night as a whole, arguing that their presence on the show was pointless. He said, "This felt like these legends just showed up today and they figured out what to do with them today. That's what this whole show felt like, because even at the end, Booker T comes out. Where was Booker? And bro, let's face it, that guy's one of the biggest stars you've had there. Where was Booker? This seems like they cast these roles for these legends today. I'm going to ask you one simple question, Chris. What was the point of having all those legends there? Give me 1 point. What was the reason?" The controversial former WWF writer even argued that the WWE's actions are reminiscent of the patterns that led to the downfall of WCW, with Goldberg's multiple returns being compared to the NWO. He said, "That's what killed WCW. This is the start of what killed them. What killed them first is, they were on top of the world and beating the absolute crap out of us. They beat that NWO angle into the ground, and it was so watered down nobody cared. That opened the door for us." Much like the New World Order, Goldberg has been used often, frequently at the expense of current-day superstars like The Fiend, who lost the Universal title in early 2020 to the Hall of Famer. Russo had a front-row seat for the end of WCW, and he's now arguing WWE are doing the exact same. Time will tell whether Russo's concerns are valid. But what do you think of Russo's review? And do you think McIntyre will suffer the same fate as The Fiend? Sound off in the comments. It's not just Russo who's unhappy to see Goldberg back, as on Twitter, Retribution's T-Bar made his own feelings known. There, T-Bar asked fans to retweet if they wanted to see him destroy Goldberg, and after thousands of fans did just that, Matt Riddle said he supports this message. Riddle's feelings on Goldberg are well known, as he's called the legend the worst wrestler in the business at one time, as the return of Goldberg has made for some strange alliances among the Raw roster. There was plenty of Goldberg for fans to see on Legends Night, but one name who was notable by their absence was former superstar Carlito. Despite being advertised by WWE on social media, Wrestling Inc. is reporting that the former US champion was never officially booked for the show at all, and that WWE reportedly sent out feelers to many talents from the past, including Carlito. Though he was never confirmed, someone internally announced him before he was booked, and it was also reported that it wasn't the ongoing global situation that caused him not to make it. It's also been reported that there's no bad blood between WWE and the former superstar, meaning he could appear again for the company down the line. Carlito has been announced for an appearance at Hastel Toy and Collectibles in New York on January 9th, and hopefully the store actually has him booked for their event, unlike WWE. Carlito wasn't the only name WWE have overlooked recently, as even Universal Champion Roman Reigns isn't immune from the company dropping plans for him. In the run-up to last week's SmackDown, it was announced the Tribal Chief would be making a special request of WWE management, which never came to be on the show. It's no secret that Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns have a lot of input in their storylines, and Ringside News reports that they had a hand in nixing what was originally planned for them on the show. The report added that it was just a few hours before the show that the decision was made to nix the segment, long after the segment was promised on social media, and this isn't the first time that the company has advertised a match or segment which would ultimately be cut without an on-screen explanation. It's not known what the special request was going to be, but what fans saw instead was Reigns and Jey Uso attack Kevin Owens, with the Universal Champion shoving Owens off a platform and through a table. It looks like Owens vs. Reigns will be happening once more at the Royal Rumble, and with Jimmy Uso's return to TV reportedly imminent, we'll have to see where his allegiances lie, especially after the attack he received by Reigns at Hell in a Cell. But are you excited for Owens Reigns 3? And if not, who do you think the Tribal Chief should face instead? Comment below with your thoughts. Bayley news next, as the former SmackDown Women's Champion had a very concerning situation take place recently outside of the ring. On Instagram, Bayley let fans know that her 29-year-old brother Jeremy had gone missing after last being seen on Fort Lewis Military Base in Lakewood, Washington. Bayley included contact information about her brother, and with her help, it didn't take long for this story to turn around. About 90 seconds after her first post, Bayley informed her followers that her brother had been located and thanked fans for all their love during this scary ordeal. After such a difficult 2020 for everyone, we're pleased that this turned out okay. And whilst the role model didn't say where he'd been, the important thing is that he's safe. AEW news next, and as the tributes for Brody Lee continue to pour in, the former TNT Champion's widow Amanda Huber has commented on fans who aren't being too respectful. After WWE gave their own tributes, several fans bashed the company for apparently not doing enough to honor Lee's memory, with some even saying Amanda should hate WWE for what they've done. In a statement, Amanda said that won't be happening, as she said, "So many people expect myself and my family to hate on WWE. The fact is, we don't. We never have. My husband absolutely got frustrated because he wanted more than what they had envisioned for him. That didn't mean he hated them. WWE gave my husband a platform. It enabled him to live his dream, a dream he almost gave up on." Amanda also gave praise for superstars like Big E and Cesaro, who have urged fans not to use Lee's death to cause a divide in the wrestling fan community, and hopefully fans will keep these words in mind the next time they try and use Lee's death in this manner. Now, the Hurt Business has been dominating Monday Night Raw lately, holding both the US and Raw Tag Team titles, and the group has also been the inspiration behind a new track. The Hurt Business is also the title of a new song by Westside Gunn, Smoke DZA, and Wale, and in case there's any doubt, the single's artwork also features the Raw stable. The track also name-drops several famous tag teams including the Rockers and the Young Bucks, but interestingly, doesn't mention the Hurt Business themselves. This is just the latest instance of WWE mixing with the world of rap, as Booker T recently appeared in a Bad Bunny music video, and Cardi B showed her love for SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Carmella. The WAP singer also started a beef with Lacey Evans along the way, and we'll have to see which rap star is next to tease entering the squared circle. Trademark news now, as WWE are once again locking down any word combinations they plan on using. As part of the filings that happened on December 30th and January 4th, WWE now owns terms including The Witch, Diamond Mine, The Bridge, and The Covenator. We previously reported that WWE also locked down The Hand in various forms as well, and it seems WWE are planning something big, and it'll take a lot of new intellectual properties as well. Although NXT is WWE's current developmental ground, that wasn't always the case, and older fans will remember Ohio Valley Wrestling is where some of wrestling's biggest names got their start. Stars like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Randy Orton all got their starts in OVW, and though the company has since been purchased by Al Snow, there's now a new owner in the mix. OVW have announced that Matt Jones and Craig Greenberg have purchased a majority stake in the company, with Jones being the founder of Kentucky Sports Radio and Greenberg being a former CEO of 21st Century Museum Hotels. Dr. Jeffrey Tulvin and Andrew Hubby Jefferson are also included in the purchase. Snow will continue running the day-to-day operations while he expands his own wrestling academy, and the plan is to continue growing OVW live events, TV broadcasts, and training facility. OVW is still home to many talented pro wrestlers who are at various stages of their career, including Brian Pillman Jr., who just had to drop the company's heavyweight title due to his AEW commitments, and this is big news for WWE's old developmental ground. Back to AEW, and an appearance from Sting has been announced for the first night of the New Year's Smash. Sting has been a regular on AEW programming since his debut, and it'll be interesting to see what the icon does next. And we're ending today with more news from AEW, as with permission from Amanda Huber, FTR have renamed their finisher in a tribute to Brody Lee. From now on, the Goodnight Express will be called the Big Rig, one of Lee's nicknames, and with WWE's Natalya also renaming her Spinning Lariat in tribute to Lee, this is a truly touching way to remember the former TNT champion.